everybody! Today we're going to be making a super easy and delicious mango muffin recipe. So for ingredients, you're going to need a mango, 3/4 cups of flour, 3/4 cup of sugar, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup of milk. I'm using whole milk today, but you could use an alternative of almond milk, oat milk, or any milk that you prefer. 1 egg. Just make sure you don't get the eggshells in there, because that usually happens to me most of the time. 6 tablespoons of vegetable oil, and you could do another alternative of vegetable oil like coconut oil or olive oil. We have 1.5 teaspoons of vinegar and half a teaspoon of vanilla. I usually like to eyeball this because I like my mixture more on the sweeter side, but you could follow the directions and it's still gonna end up good as well. Alright, so in this step, I'm gonna teach y'all correctly how to cut a mango. It's kind of similar with the avocado. So you have your skin, you have the flesh of the mango, and you have the pit right in the middle. So obviously you don't want to, directly cut in half because you're gonna hit the pit. Alright, so since we want to avoid the pit that's going to be in the middle, we kind of just want to cut into the sides of the mango. So we have the sides right here, and you have, you could see like where the formation of the pit is going to start. So this is the part that we want to avoid. So we're also going to cut off the sides as well. Okay, so you can see right here, we have the pit right over here, but we still have the remaining pieces of flesh that are salvageable, and every part of the mango counts. So we just kind of want to avoid the pit, and you can see my knife has stopped. So we just want to hit the edge. Alright, pause. Okay, so taking one of the sides of the mango, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to make thin vertical lines into the mango, and by all means they don't have to be perfect, you just want them to be thin. So once we have our thin lines, we want to make horizontal thin lines as well, and just make sure you're cutting through the flesh and not cutting through the skin. It's gonna make it a little bit more difficult for you to for the next step that we're gonna do, and make sure you don't cut yourself. So if you could see, you could start seeing the little squares that we have from our lines, and we have the skin right here, and we're going to want to do like an inward thing and kind of individually separate them. You can see that, they're kind of starting to be separated. So what you want to do is grab your knife and just cut along from the bottom the little cubes, and just put it into the mixture that we haven't mixed yet. And this is the reason why I said try not to cut into the skin, because we want to salvage every part of the mango and not accidentally put the skin in there. And it's also easier for you to cut off. Alright, so now that we have all the mango chunks into the mixture, we're going to grab a spoon. I don't recommend using an electronic mixer just because it's going to really break up and kind of smush all the mango together, and we don't want that for the texture of our muffins. So if you see, we have chunks of it still not diced. So just kind of gently break them apart. So we're just going to grab everything and gently mix it. Okay, so you could see the little chunks of the mango, and that's what we want. And we want to make sure we scrape everything on from the sides into the mixture. So it should be a nice thick consistency, because that's the consistency that we're going to want for the muffins. Alright, bring out our muffin pan. We're going to use cupcake liners, and we're going to line each slot individually. I would say that we don't really need to spray the pan with oil or anything like that, because we have the muffin liners and the batter is going to be stuck to the liner, not to the pan itself. So once we have these lined up, we're going to grab our mixture. So with our mixture, we're going to grab a little bit, and we're going to be careful not to mix the mango pieces and kind of crush them up while we're doing this. So we want to fill the liner up, I would say halfway. We necessarily don't want it to be full all the way to the top, because we did add baking soda, and that's going to give it a rise effect into the oven. So we kind of don't want it to explode out of the liner. Alright. And if you feel like you didn't scoop up enough, you know, just add a little. For this step, you're gonna want a spoon, a bowl, cinnamon and some sugar. So what you wanna do is you're gonna pour some cinnamon down into the bowl. You don't really need some measurements for this because we're gonna be using it as a topping to our batter. So just get a good decent amount. And we also don't wanna do a lot of it because, as I said, we're gonna be mixing it with the sugar as well. And we're gonna be adding it on top to our mixture. All right. So this is the part where we want to mix it and make sure everything's thoroughly mixed. Should have like an even proportionate amount. All right, so with our cupcakes and our mixture that we just made, you just want to grab a nice pinch and just sprinkle it on top of each individual muffin. And what this is gonna do, since we have sugar in it, it's gonna melt and it's kind of gonna create like a little, I wouldn't say icing, but a nice little sweet mixture to it whenever you bite down. So just do this with all the muffins. And it really doesn't matter. You could put too much or less depending on how sweet you like it. And that's pretty much it. So with our oven already preheated to 450 degrees, you just want to open it up, go ahead and pop it through, and make sure your muffins are going to be in the center of the oven. All right, close the lid, and we're just going to time it for around 10 minutes. The way to tell if your muffins are ready is you want to grab a toothpick and stick it through the center of the muffin. If they're ready, they're going to come out clean and not as much batter is going to come out. With that, you have easy and simple mango muffins to enjoy.